Hello, welcome to Tina Talk Show. It's me, your host, Adanwachuku. Thank you, all of you. If this is your first time of coming to Tina Talk Show, I want to say thank you for coming. And if you are a returning guest, I want to say thank you also for continuing to be part of this channel. And like I've always said, this platform is a platform that is designed for you to come and share a lot. I tell you something quickly. Many years ago, I've always thought, like I want to share my story, but I never actually find a platform to do that. Most of the platform that I'm aware of are people, famous people that come to the platform. But I'm like, I've got a story to share. People like Oprah, I'm here, but they don't see people like us, even though we have many stories to share because we're not famous yet. So I haven't gone through that phase in my life. I decided to create this platform for someone like me who also have something to share to the world, but they don't have the platform. So as you're watching me right now, this platform is for you. And don't you even think that you don't have a story to share. You see, that experience, that knowledge, that wisdom that you have gathered over the years, that is what the world is waiting for. That is the story that the world wants to hear from you. Maybe there's somebody out there who is demotivated, uninspired, not even sure what their purpose is. But hearing from you, what you've been through, the beauty of who you are, which is the story behind it, they may just be inspired, they may just be motivated. And this is exactly what my next guest, all the way from UK, she will be sharing with us. She's a woman who's gone through so much, and she's here to empower us. Hopefully, by her story, we will be transformed. But before that, I'd like you to let us take a break. Oh, thank you so much, audience. Thank you much for that. Thank you for that patience. Now, all the way from United Kingdom, Astrid Phillips. She's a mindful coach. She's the CEO and the founder of W.i.l.l Women Academy. Without wasting much of our time, I'm going to bring her up on board so she can share her amazing, like I'm looking forward to that. What about you? Here we go. Here she is, Astrid Phillips. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for that really amazing introduction. I really do appreciate it. Hello, audience. Thank you for joining. It's great to see you. And thank you for being with me, coming all the way from the UK. I really, really do appreciate that. As I said, my name's Astrid and from the UK, and I'm a mindful mindset and leadership coach.
Thank you so much. I want to thank you once again for coming to Tina Talk Show, because I know that you are a very busy woman out there, inspiring, doing so many things, but you managed to create this time for me. Thank you so much. And I know that by your story, a lot of people are going to be transformed, because this is what Tina Talk Show is all about. Now, you are a woman, you are the CEO and founder of W.i.l.l Women Academy and mindfulness and so on and so forth. But before that, where were you? Before that, what happened? So that is what we're going to be looking at. Sometimes we hear people, we see people become and walk into and start flourishing into their potentials and their purpose. But we quickly want to be like that. Oh, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. But there was a journey. There was a journey. And for me, the beauty of who we are today is the story behind it. Is the story behind it. So first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, audience, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Astrid. I am a mindful mindset leadership coach. I'm also an international speaker, an award-winning speaker, an author of a book called Stories of Truth and Triumph. And funny enough, that was written in 2020. And that was a group of women who actually got together and actually contributed a chapter each to this book. And we all contributed a chapter of our struggles and how we got to where we were. And that's what I'm prepared to share with you today, is my story on how I've got to where I am today.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to that. I was privileged the last time I was privileged the other time we met on social media, on Zoom event. And you shared some part of your story that was very profound for me, and you know how the beauty. Let me not let the cat out of the bag. Let her. She is going to, tell you what I heard her talk about. So, but before we jump into that, how was your childhood like? Do you have siblings?
I'll be honest with you, my childhood was absolutely amazing. Just purely from the point of view, I had a great role model to learn from.
Wow.
I had a great role model to actually take my inspiration from. I do have a sibling. I have a younger brother who, when you look at the two of us together, he's actually bigger than me, taller than me, wider than me, but he's 5 years younger than me.
Is it? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We the senior ones slows down. Why the junior? We always allow them to go. Just keep going.
Exactly. You go ahead. Yes.
You go ahead.
Yes.
No problem. In any way you want, in size, in speed, anything. Just go. We will take care of you. It's a great way to look at things, because it goes to show that being senior in any category, there's a reason for that, isn't it? Like in my house right now, it looks like I have slowed down. I become short for them to get taller. Everybody, all my kids, they're all taller than me before. Growing up, I mean, even now, when people want to describe me, they will say, "Oh, that tall lady," But in my house, no. It's like, okay, let me slow down while you guys get all the tone.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny because in our family, all the girls, and it's funny enough, now I'm thinking about it, all the oldest girls are the shortest in the family.
Really?
And all the guys are the tallest in the family, no matter what their age. Wow. So the guys got the height and the girls didn't. But that doesn't take away from the kind of women we are.
Yes, exactly. We grow organically.
Definitely.
Organic.
Yes.
And that's great. That's a great way of looking at it. Now, tell us about your mother. I know she has gone to rest and all that, but there's so much of her still around with you.
Definitely.
Can you share a bit of her with us?
I would be glad to. My mother came over from Guyana in South America in around about 1962. Okay. Now, that was the time where, in America, the first pilot went into space. That was when she came over to the UK, and where she came over on a boat with my uncle at the time, because I've got a lovely picture of the two of them.
I'd love to see it.
I will share that with you. I will share that with you. Where they came over on the boat, and there was a picture of my mum just sitting on the boat with my uncle sitting next to her. It was my dad's brother. And they came over on the boat, and Mum decided that she wanted to be a midwife. But there wasn't the opportunity in her own country to do that. So she wanted to come to the UK to actually train to become a midwife. Now that meant 2 years of training to be a nurse, first of all, to be a state registered nurse, and then another 2 years to become a state registered midwife. So that's 4 years of study and 4 years of actually doing the training and passing all the relevant exams to actually be qualified to do what she wanted to do. Now, my mum was an only child from the point of view of her mum and her dad. However, she had a lot of half siblings, but she was the only child with her mum and dad. So she decided, you know what, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to the UK, this is what I'm going to do, this is my goal. And she never stopped working on her goal. And she kept going and kept going. Now, before she left Guyana, my dad actually proposed to her, and actually they got engaged. But my mum, being my mum, said, we are not getting married until I've got my exams, until I've passed, and until I've got a job being a state registered midwife. So that was that.
It sounds like a mother with a focus.
Oh, very much so. She was really, really focused.
She knows what she wants.
Oh, definitely. She was not going to let anyone or anything stop her from doing what she wanted to do. So she came over, she trained for 4 years until she became a state registered midwife. And, you know, she made some friends along the way. One of her friends now resides in Canada. One of them is married to my dad's brother. So, you know, she has some very, very close friends. And her stepsister, her older sister, she lives in Canada. She's not very well at the moment, but she lives in Canada. And, you know, it was great to actually know who everyone was, to meet everybody, to meet her friends, and to see what powerful women they are, all of them in their own right. Because one of her good friends who is in Canada, she trained to be a midwife like my mum, and she became a qualified midwife as well. And her sister, who is in Canada, she's actually a minister's wife, and she's actually a minister herself. So, well, she's retired now, but she's a minister herself. So I come from a background of very powerful women. So I had a great example from which to learn from. So, you know, my childhood growing up was really, really good. And my mum taught me how to be independent and how to speak my mind and speak out. If anything wasn't quite right, or if there's any questions I wanted to ask, then it was a case of asking those questions and getting the answer and not being fobbed off with anything. You know, I remember when I was at school, and I was auditioning for a lead in a show that we were doing at school. And I remember there was myself and a friend of mine, Sonia, who we both applied for the same thing. And we both practiced together, so we knew like how good each other were and that kind of thing. And when it came to doing the audition, she actually got the part over me. Wow. Now, what I knew was that she didn't necessarily want the lead, because she was very conscious of being in the lead, whereas I wasn't bothered. I was happy to take centre stage. You know, I had been given that confidence and that empowerment through my mum. So I was confident to actually do that. However, she got the leading role. I do remember though, when I got home, because Mum was all keen to find out how I did, and when I got home, Mum said, "How did you get on? Did you get it?" And I said, "Well, no, Mum, I didn't get it. I'm the understudy. I'm going to be the understudy for Sonia." Now, Mum knew who Sonia was, because her mum and my mum, you know, knew each other from school. So she said, "Hang on a minute, you're the understudy." why are you the understudy when Sonia actually doesn't want the role anyway? I said, oh, I don't know. That's what the teacher said. So she said, really? What else did the teacher say? Did you ask any questions as to why you're the understudy? So she was pushing me, always pushing me. So she said, did you ask why you were the understudy? And I said, no, Mum, I didn't. I said, I'm the understudy. That's how it goes. She said, no, that's not how it goes. So what happened? We went back to school. We went back to school. And my mum knocked on the staff room door and the teacher was still there. So she said, he didn't answer the door, it was somebody else, but said, can I speak to the music teacher, please? Music teacher comes to the door. I hear that my daughter is the understudy. Can you explain to me why? So he said, well, it was a toss-up between Sonia and your daughter. And on the day, Sonia was better. So on the day? Okay. On the day, Sonia was better. Yes, okay. Sonia was better. So she said, have you tested both of them singing in front of people to see who is going to be better? Well, no, Mrs. Phillips, I haven't. But she said, no buts. Tomorrow, you will organise for everybody, all the teachers, to actually sit in the audience and for the two of them to actually sing in front of them. So you can actually see who is going to be best on the day in front of an audience.
Sounds like me.
She was having none of it. Trust me, she was having none of it.
Like me, like what I would do.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what she did. And then she grabbed my hand. She said, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. And took my hand and off we went back home. So I thought, okay then. Okay, fair enough.
Can I ask you, that moment, how did you feel when your mom did that?
Do you know what? Because I was 12 at the time, I felt a little embarrassed because I was 12. Yeah, no. But at the same time, I felt a sense of empowerment and a sense of pride that my mum believed in me, and she took time out to go to the school and actually stand up for me getting that part.
Wow.
Amazing. So it was a top, because at 12 you're kind of, oh mum, don't embarrass me.
No,
that kind of thing. But it is a bit like that.
Yeah, she did it.
But she did it. Yeah. So we went back to school the next day, and we had teachers all there ready, and I sang my heart out. I'd been practicing that night. Mum had made sure I could hit every note, everything like that. And so I would have been the best on the day in the front of the audience. And I was able to strut on the stage and do everything, sing my notes and hit my notes and everything. And then Sonia then did hers as well. But she wasn't as fluent as me, and she was more nervous than I was. So to get to that, what then happened was the music teacher then took all the teachers outside. And you could hear them all talking. You could hear a loud conversation. And my mum and Sonia's mum were there as well. And obviously myself and Sonia were there as well. So we were in one room and they were outside the door. What then resounded was, she can't have the role, she's black.
What?
Yes. She can't have the role, she's black.
She can't have the role. That's you, black.
My friend Sonia was Caucasian. So between the two of us, I couldn't have the role, even though I was the better person, because I was black. So my mum, Sonia looked at me, I looked at Sonia, and the two parents, Sonia's mum and my mum, looked at each other, and the two of them got up in unison and walked straight outside. And my eyes literally just filled with tears, because that was the first experience I had of racism.
Wow.
The first.
Wow.
At 12 years old.
It's like saying, so you mean I can't succeed because of my skin tone? Imagine how destructive that can be for a growing child.
Yes.
How the confidence would be destroyed. So if my school, if the society, because the school now is like this, the whole society for the child. So if my school think of me like this, Wow. Wow.
Exactly. So to cut a long story short, there was no play that year.
Mom made sure.
Mum made sure of that because she went outside, she spoke to the teacher, and then she came in, got me. Sonia's mum came in and got me. Both went to the headmaster, who was still in his office, and said, told them exactly what had happened and that it would be unfair to go ahead with a play this year, because every year the school had some sort of production that the parents could come and see. That year there wasn't one.
Wow.
And funny enough, it was the last year I was in that particular school before I moved on to my high school. So that particular year there wasn't one. I don't know what happened years after me, but on that particular year there wasn't one to finish off my school year. So that was quite interesting, and that was my first experience of racism. After that, I then began to notice racism everywhere, because once you experience it and you know what it is,
you become you become aware.
You're very aware of it.
You're able to identify them.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Wow. So it was something that I grew a thick skin with, because I knew that I wouldn't be able to eradicate it on my own. I would always experience that. I can't change my skin color. I can be really good at what I do. I can have all the skills and all the talents and everything needed to actually be good at what I do. I just can't change my skin color. So I had to kind of just, go through life from then on, just being aware of it, challenging it where I could, and then just developing that thick skin.
Wow, amazing. I mean, sorry you had to go through that. I'm sure living in another kind of society different from us, is a very common thing, and it will always be there,
Yes,
but
now it's not going to go.
It's not going to go. We need to, I have come to that place where I know it's not going to go. It's just me learning how to, like you said, develop a thick skin. Like, don't let it get to you. Don't let it stop you, achieving your dreams. Just you are who you are. Your gift will make a way for you. Not your skin tone, not your skin color will make, but your skill, your gift, your skill will make a way for you. Now, where is Mom at this moment now?
Mum at this moment is buried. She's no longer with us.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I learned so much from my mum through growing up, through her helping me through what I'd gone through at school.
What happened? Somebody might be watching right now wondering, such an amazing mother and who stood by you, like what could have happened? What happened?
I remember back in 2008, Mum saying to me, I need to go to the doctor. Can you come with me? So I said, yeah, fine, no worries, Mum. Of course I will. You don't have to ask. Just tell me what time, what date, and all the rest of it, and I'll make sure I take the time off work and, I'm there with you. So she said, okay, no problem. Now, funny enough, that particular year, I had decided that I was going to leave my corporate job. And I was leaving on a high in my corporate job. I was leaving as a regional project manager. I'd had a budget of $1 million. I'd come in 20% under that budget. I'd come in 2 months early on the project. So I was leaving on a high, and I wanted to, I had an opportunity to take a package. I'd been in the bank quite a long time. So I was getting a nice big package to leave. And I was thinking, you know what, with everything I've been through, I can start my own business. That's what I wanted to do at that point in time. I could start my own business. But anyway, my mum had asked me to come with her to this appointment. So I said, fine, no problem. So if you can imagine, we're in a doctor's office and we're sitting, behind the desk. To the left, there's a window where the light is shining through. It was a wonderful day. There's actually an examination table, and there is actually those blinds that, come across for privacy. And I remember my mum, if you can imagine my mum, she's a very proud woman. She'd done so well. She had reached the goals that she wanted to reach. She was actually a sister in the hospital, which is the highest level that you can get. She was the ward sister. So she was managing all the other nurses, and she was the one who decided what was going to be done on the ward, all of that kind of thing. So she was in charge of the pre and postnatal wards. So she knew her stuff. She was also the representative for diabetes, because she had diabetes. So she went and learned everything there was to learn about diabetes and pregnancy, as well as diabetes for herself. Wow. So she was the go-to person, and she was known for that. On this particular day, though, we were sitting next to each other, and Mum doesn't wear tracksuits unless she's at home. But my mum was in a tracksuit, no makeup. And you know where you sit in a chair? You know where a child sits in a chair and they've been told off, so their head's down and their shoulders are down and they don't look and all of that kind of thing. That's how she was. And, I was kind of thinking, Mum, I was thinking to myself, I didn't ask her, but I was thinking to myself, what's the matter? Something's not right. Doctor came in, sat down. So if you can imagine, I don't know whether you know Sean Connery, but Sean Connery look-alike, but older, an older version with glasses. Came in and sat down at the desk. Mrs. Phillips, I have your results. You have stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh my God.
And we are going to have to do what we can straight away.
Wow.
However, if you'd have come to us earlier, this might have been a better outcome. Now, at that point in time, I shut my eyes and I thought, did I really hear what I heard? Did he really say that to my mother? And all I could see was, in my peripheral vision, all I could see was tears rolling down her eyes. I've never seen my mum cry. There were tears rolling down her eyes.
Oh, God.
So I took a deep breath, because I knew I had to hold it together. I knew I had to be strong for her, bearing in mind the news she had just received. And I was trying really hard not to cry myself. And I remember grabbing her hand, and I looked to the doctor and I said, Doctor, can you say that again? Because I could feel the anger and the tension inside of me. I said, can you say that again? Because I was waiting for him to say the exact same thing he said before, because I was ready to lash out. And he said, your mum has stage 3 breast cancer. I'm assuming you're her daughter. And I said, yes. Your mum has stage 3 breast cancer. And we need to start treatment straight away, because stage 3 is really the severe end of breast cancer. I said, okay, so what is it that we have to do? Because I thought, I'm going to stay calm. I'm not going to get angry, because if I get angry, I'm not going to stop. So what is it that we need to do?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just go and get the nurse and she can. I said, no, don't go anywhere. You tell me exactly what needs to happen. Oh, no, the nurse will help you because she's going to be contacted. I said, did you not hear what I said?
He wants to.
You need to tell me what we need to do from now on. So he looked at me, looked at my mum, and he still got up and walked out. The nurse came in straight away and pulled up a chair and sat next to my mum. And the first thing she did was, she didn't say anything. She just put her arms around my mum and comforted her. And at that point was when I could feel myself choking up even now. At that point was when I realised actually probably he wasn't the right person to speak to, and we were never going to get anything out of him. And that's when I started to know when to fight the battles to win the war. That was not a battle I was going to win and get any information out of him. I was going to get it out of the nurse. So when my mum calmed down a little bit, I said to the nurse, I said, thank you so much. I said, what is it that we need to do? She said, do you know what? I've got a pen and paper with me. I'm going to write down everything for you, because I know right now you're not going to be able to take everything in.
It's not going to
sink in. So she said, I'm going to write everything down for you, how to get in touch with me, what is going to happen next, and then we can start booking appointments for your mum to have treatment straight away. I said, thank you so much. And then I hugged my mum, and both of us were then crying. But then we had to leave and then go home and explain to my brother and my dad the situation with my mum. Because at the end of the day, with my mum being in the medical profession, she knew what stage 3 breast cancer meant.
What it means.
And she knew that, you know, she would be fighting for her life. And she spent the next 2 years fighting for her life. She went and did the treatments. She decided, you know what, these treatments are making me ill. I'm not going to do them. And that was her decision. She decided to have a double mastectomy. And I remember a conversation she had with my dad, telling my dad that, you know what, I'm going to have a double mastectomy, so hopefully that will either get rid of the cancer or at least slow it down. So my dad turned around and said, I ain't got nothing to play with if you do that. So it was like, my dad always brought humour to any situation.
Anything.
Always to any situation, just to lighten the mood and not have it so down and so heavy. You know, he was great at that, and his timing was like perfect, you know. But yeah, 2 years later, on the 15th of August, Mum was home on that particular day. It was a Sunday, and she was home. And now normally how Mum prepared to go out, because every single Sunday she went to church without fail. Every single Sunday. But that particular Sunday she couldn't go. She didn't have the energy. She couldn't muster up the strength for us to even help her get dressed to actually go. So the minister realizing...
How old was her this time? How old was she?
She was 70.
70.
She was 70, yeah. She was 70. She was a sprightly 70. If I show you a picture of her, she was a sprightly 70.
I know, yeah. By the character, you can tell.
Oh, yes. She wasn't going to let anything get the better of her, no matter what her situation was. No matter she wasn't in control of the actual disease itself. She was not going to let that change her. She was going to be strong. She was going to be resilient. She was going to be determined to still have a really great life. And that's what she did. And on that Sunday, she didn't make it to church. So the minister actually came to her and actually did a service, like a mini service just for her, which was really nice because, and part of it was to increase the story just a little bit. The minister was her daughter-in-law's to be minister. So it was her father. So we knew him anyway, and we were going to his church. So he was
like
the one
a
who
family
came.
thing, like she just had to do with the family.
Yes, exactly. And then it was 2 days later, on the 17th of August. My mum was in a hospice by now because she'd got to the stage where she couldn't move, she couldn't do anything. And on the 17th of August, the early hours of the 17th of August, she passed away. And that was the 17th of August 2010.
Wow.
So I've been without my mum for 10, coming up, it's going to be 11 years this year. So it's when that happened, I kind of went into practical mode, in that my mum had always taught me to, you know, the world still keeps turning, so keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. So I went into practical mode. I sorted out the funeral. I sorted out, you know, the coffin she was going to be put in. I sorted out all the trimmings, where we were going to have the actual service itself, where we're going to have the reception. I literally just went into automatic pilot and practical mode to sort that out, because it was a month away from my brother getting married.
Wow.
I was a month away from my brother getting married.
I'm just trying to imagine, such a strong, like a pillar. I'm just trying to imagine what it was like for you at that time, that moment. How did you manage? You said you went straight into practical mode. Where did you find that? Some people will break down. Some people will just like shut themselves away from things and just depressed. But
I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That strength came from my mum because I'd had so much time with her, and she had been so influential in how I was in overcoming any challenges that I had. She was my rock. Wow. And it was just as though my mum had come in me and said, right, get on with it. Wow. That's how it felt. It felt as though she was in me and said, get on with it. You know what you've got to do. You know your brother's getting married in a month. You can't afford to mess around. You need to get this sorted out.
Oh, bless.
And that's where I got it from. It was almost as though she was in me telling me what to do, because I felt so calm, so authentic when I was making all the decisions about what to do and what to do next, and how this was going to run, and who was going to be involved and who wasn't going to be involved. And I was making all the decisions. It was almost as though my mum had come into me to actually help and guide me as to what to do.
There was something you said. I don't want to miss this.
That's okay.
When I had the privilege to speak with you the other day, you did mention that how she was preparing for your brother's wedding, and even, shopped for the wedding dress. Yes. And this amazing dress was what she wore.
Yes. Yes. I decided because her sister came over from Canada, her sister came over from Canada, and her friend came over as well, and the two of them helped me dress her body, because what I didn't want to do was have anybody else touch my mum. I didn't want anybody else to touch my mum. Wow. So I washed her, I dressed her,
and I dressed her woman
in the outfit that she was going to wear for the wedding, with all her jewellery, all her earrings, all her rings. The only thing I couldn't do was put her shoes on.
That your brother's fiance was going to wear.
No. It was what my mum was going to wear as the mother of the groom.
Okay.
Yeah, as the mother of the groom. Yeah.
She has gone to get her outfit.
She'd gone the week before to get her outfit, yes.
Wow, I see. When we had a chat the other time, I was thinking it's the wedding dress. So
No.
The outfit was the outfit that she was going to wear. It's as though she prepared what she wanted to wear without saying the word.
Yes. And I felt that was what she wanted to be buried in.
Yes.
So, that's what we dressed her in. So she was represented for the wedding, and it was great.
I just got goosebumps here now. Wow.
A lot of my friends couldn't understand how I had the strength to bury my mum, to actually dress my mum after she'd passed, because, and I'll be honest with you, it was purely through how she had molded me. It was purely through her example, and especially her example of when she knew she had breast cancer to when she died. She never had a down day. She never had a cry day. She never had a day where she felt, woe is me. And she never had that. Wow. She fought every single day for every single ounce of her life. And she was grateful to God for every single day that she had.
That she wake up. Oh, bless.
Yes, every single day. So who was I not to be strong and not be the woman my mum had brought me up to be?
Wow.
I wasn't going to let her down. Oh. Okay, yes, I had to do it for myself as well, but I wasn't going to let her down, especially at this time. It wasn't going to happen. And I remember walking into the church, and even walking into the church, I could just about walk into the church. It was so full. I didn't realise how many people had turned up. We had a balcony. The balcony was full with people. Outside, wow. People couldn't get into the church.
Wow.
And I've always said, you know what, if whatever I do, if I could have the same amount of people that my mom had, I would be happy. If I'd have left that kind of legacy, I would be happy, you know? And that was the first time I actually broke down. That was the first time I broke down.
Oh, seeing the amount of love around.
Yes.
You know, looking at the way you're going, inspiring and transforming lives. You know.
Oh, for sure.
You never know. You know, that you see, that is why I love, you see, life is not about what am I now, it's where I'm coming from, and it's about the legacy. What would people say? What will people say about me when I'm gone? That is very important.
I know what they will say about me. I'm my mother's child. Right now, that's what they say about me.
Bless.
I am my mother's child. So yes.
Wow, amazing. I'm amazing. Yeah. Obviously, it's like you are representing your mother. Yes. And at the same time, I mean, that's what it seems to me, you know, but at the same time, I want to know, who is Astrid? Yes, your mom lived a life of example, you know, true strong woman, and you kind of like mold in that kind of way. Let's just think for a moment. Who is Astrid, or who do you think Astrid would be if mom hadn't, you know, wasn't the way she was? Like, I'm just trying to see you and see mom at the same time.
Okay, if mum was still around, she would be my business partner. As old as she is, she would be my business partner, and she would be my mentor, my coach, because of how the experience she's gone through. You know, what it took for her to achieve what she had. The passion, the knowledge, the education, all of that type of thing. Now, right now, what you see right now, yes, is a younger version of my mum, but it wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
Because when my mum passed and we got past the funeral and everything else, I actually lost my voice for 6 years. Now, when I say lost my voice, I wasn't anything like this. I was quiet. I wasn't outspoken. I wouldn't challenge anything. I wouldn't ask questions. I would cry at the slightest thing. I would be a nervous Nelly, if you can imagine that. And all I did was be on automatic pilot. Leave my house, go to work, do my job, come home. Because I had to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Leave my house, go to work, do my job, come home. While I was working, I hardly spoke to anybody. I was lucky in that the job I had at the time was isolated from everybody else. So I had a radio where I only spoke to people on the radio. I didn't have to speak to them face to face. So that was perfect for me. That was absolutely perfect for me.
Even though it wasn't kind of helping, but it was something that was soothing at that moment that you were grieving.
Exactly. It was soothing. The only time I faced people was to actually teach exercise. Because I'm also a qualified exercise instructor as well. So I would teach a classroom full of people, and they never knew what happened. I had a mask on. They never knew what happened. The music, the time that music came on, I was in my flow. I was teaching my class. I was doing the exercises. I was correcting, you know, their incorrect technique and all of that kind of thing. And everything just came to mind as to what I needed to do at that precise moment in time. And that was it. And once the music came off, I switched off, I went out the door. And I didn't speak to anybody.
How did you now come out of this? How were you
Whew.
able to break through? I know it's heavy.
It
Like,
is heavy.
how
It is
somebody
heavy.
somebody might be watching right now, and they are maybe right now, experiencing or going through that moment of maybe grieving. Could be in so many ways. It could be loss of
Yes.
loved ones, it could be
Yes.
loss of business, it could be loss of
Mm-hmm.
money, it could be loss of jobs, it could be loss of something, something that
Yeah.
they treasure, and they
Yes.
find themselves in that autopilot and just do and not really being aware of what they are doing because they had to do it, and that's
Yes.
it done. Okay, the same thing, and they are
Mm-hmm.
stuck. How did
Yeah,
you
they are
come
stuck.
out of that place?
I'll be honest, how I came out of that place, the one thing that always got my mood lightened and changed was music. I was always listening to music, but I would listen to it in my house. I wouldn't go anywhere else. And because I had tracks that I would teach to as well, I was always listening to music. And I remember one day, it was funny enough, it was a song that I heard on the radio. I'd heard it a number of times before, but this particular day, it just went straight to my heart. And it was a song by Michael Jackson called You Are Not Alone.
You are not
I'm
alone.
not alone. I
I
am
am
here with
here with
you.
you. Don't
And
you
though you're
fall
far
apart.
away,
Yeah.
I am here to stay. And that broke me down. That I was crying uncontrollably. It was almost as though my mum was talking to me to say, I'm with you. I haven't gone anywhere. So long as I am in your heart, I am with you. And don't feel alone, and don't feel that you have to do all of this alone.
Yeah.
Ask and get help. But that's the one thing I didn't do, was ask and get help. That song came to me, and it got me to really break down completely. Because before that, I had a mask on. Before that, I had been, on automatic pilot. Now was the time to begin to come out of my shell. Now was the time to get back to the person that my mum wanted me to be. Back to the person I knew I could be. Back to that person who was going to start her own business. Because in all this time, I didn't start the business. I hadn't started the business. I was, woe is me. And it might sound a bit offish when I say that, but that's how I was. I was sympathy for me. And when you think about yourself and only think about yourself, you're not helping yourself by doing that.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to be grateful for everything that you've got up until now. You have to learn to be thankful for all the experience that you've had until now. And once you begin to be thankful, be grateful, and remember who you are, then that's what will help you to begin to change. And I didn't change overnight. Believe me, I didn't change overnight, but that was what sparked that ignition, that initial, come on, you've done this for long enough now. It's about time to move on and to stop playing the victim. And be the victor.
Yep.
And it was that song that did it for me. And after that, I thought, you know what? Let me hear that song a few more times. And so I downloaded it, and I would purposely listen to it in the morning. Yeah, I'd play it first thing in the morning and remind myself that I'm not alone, that I have friends. Yes, my mum is gone, but I know what she wanted for me.
Yeah.
We talked an awful lot. I know what she wanted for me, and I wasn't fulfilling that. I wasn't happy with how my life was at that time. And I had to do something to change it, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. That was the thing. I didn't have the focus she had. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what would be right for me. I knew that I had been in a situation where I'd been in a job that I could do really, really well. And I knew I was a people person, even though for that length of time, I wasn't really communicating with people, but I know I'm a people person. I know I like people. I know that before all of this happened, I was actually teaching and coaching.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing before. And I really enjoyed that. And I enjoyed seeing people transform. Even though I was teaching exercise, what was good about it was I could see people transform. I could see them go from being really exhausted and tired and like, I can't do this, it's too hard, to wow, you know what, I can do this now, I feel really good, and you know what, my tummy's getting flatter, and they were telling me all their life story because they got to know me, and they had really seen that what I was doing was helping them. And when I was putting other people first, I felt better about that because I was helping other people. I wasn't wallowing in myself. I was helping others to get better and be the best version of themselves that they could be. And so, you know, from 2016 to about 2018, I was working on myself. I was taking each day as it comes. And I remember my sister-in-law, who is now my sister-in-law, she actually gave me a gift at Christmas of free coaching, 2-day free coaching day or 2 days to go and learn how to coach and how to coach effectively so you can get the best out of people, what kind of questions to ask and how to, you know, really help them. And I thought, you know what?
Wow.
Thank you. That was, even though I had other presents, that was the most important one.
How to
that
do
particular
it.
one.
Yeah, how to do it.
Because I then had an idea of, well, actually, I used to do that. I used to do that quite naturally. I used to enjoy that. I used to thrive on that. So why not go back to doing it again and refresh my mind on how to do it?
Do it again. And even do it better now. Yeah.
Yes, because I had the experience. Exactly. I'd been through all that I'd been through, and I could specialise on working with women who had been through that kind of thing, who wanted to have that focus again, who wanted to know where they wanted to go, or if they didn't have that focus, how to get that focus, what they needed to do to get that focus. And that's where I came up with the W.i.l.l Women Academy.
Yes.
Because it stands for Women in Leadership Level Up.
Women
so W.i.l.l Women Academy. Level Up. So
level up. Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was just going to kind of what inspired you. Now I can see where it came about, how it came about. Wow.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
And and also as well, I got into mindfulness purely because at that time, it was back in 2018, 2019, I got into mindfulness purely because at work, I was actually one of the leaders of the rest of the instructors. So I was one of the managers. So again, I'm back looking after teams, and you know, managing teams and stuff. And so that's kind of where I'm at, because that's kind of my where I'm feeling really good.
Yeah,
and where I do my best work.
Yes,
exactly. So I remember the person who had actually accepted me to do that job, she was actually teaching mindfulness, and she said, Astrid, you should come along. And I said, why? I don't need mindfulness, I'm fine, thank you. As you do. And sometimes when you protest too much, that's the thing you should be doing. So I said, no, I'm fine, thanks, I don't need mindfulness. She said, no, come on, try it out. I'd like for you to be qualified to teach mindfulness.
It's like,
I think you'll be really good.
It's like in psychotherapy, we look at things this way. You see, when somebody bullies someone who is smarter than them, not because they hate what that person is, but they hate themselves for not being that person.
Yes.
You know, they wish they could be smart and be that person, but they couldn't. So that kind of forms that anger that they sometimes they don't even know where it's coming from. and if they start to bully, most time the people I've passed this knowledge to my children.
Yes.
There was a time my daughter, she used to have this, because she was growing up very slim, so she would get some negative comments and everything. She's such a pretty slim girl, and then her dark skin, they say, why are you so dark? I said, listen, you are so beautiful that they cannot handle the light.
Exactly.
You are so pretty. Like when they look at you, they're like, wow. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes people want to be what they are not. Yeah. So I can see where that's coming from. When people protest too much, that is actually what, is that fear to confront it.
Exactly. And I believe that's what it was, because when I actually did the course, it was a whole day, 7 hours, a whole day course. And I remember when I first started, I was fidgeting and I couldn't get into it, and I couldn't do it. And then I found that actually I was doing part of this when I was teaching older adults. This bit that she was showing us, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, but I do that. I do that with the older adults, because I teach older adults as well. So that's one of my specialisms in teaching exercise. And I thought, hang on a minute, they really enjoy that and they get a lot out of that. And actually, they're always telling me that they really enjoy that bit. Okay. So at that point, I kind of calmed down and I thought, no, let's take on board what she's saying. And by the end of the course, I passed with flying colours.
Wow.
And it was something that I'm really passionate about now. And I found out more about it, and I learnt about the chakras, and I learnt about mindset, and I learnt about all of those different things. And so I'm thinking, hang on a minute, this is it. This is what I can do.
Like a light bulb, like you just...
Yeah, it was a light bulb.
A penny drop.
Yes. Yes. Ping! The light is on. Yes.
Amazing. Like, your journey is such a beautiful journey. Now, I would like to know, okay, like someone right now who perhaps still grieving, like they still stuck. What advice? Now we're coming, trying to wrap this together.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone right now watching, and they have been affected by what we have shared today, and they wish they could come out of it? What advice would you give to them?
First of all, you won't come out of it until you're ready. And so what I would say is, don't let anybody force you to come out of how you're feeling. You have to do it when you're ready, because no amount of force is going to make you change. I was in that position for 6 years. All right. I was in that position for 6 years. I turned to music. Music was the thing that really changed me. And it is about changing your physiology. It's about not staying in bed all day. It's about not, staying on the sofa or watching the telly all day. It's about doing something, even if it's a small thing, even if it's getting from the bed to the bathroom, or getting from the bed to the front room. Yeah. That's how you do it. It's one small, tiny step at a time.
At a time. Bless.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be big. Just a tiny thing. A tiny thing. Great. Even if it's change your pajamas. That's a change. You have to change your physiology. That's the key. That's the key. It's about changing your physiology. So yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Audience, you have heard. It's about taking the step at a time. If somebody wants to, is there anybody who would like to give a shout out to? Quickly, like someone would like to give a shout out to?
Wow. Who would I like to give a shout out to? I would like to give it, I've got a list.
I know.
But I'd like to give a shout out to my brother and his wife. Just purely because my brother has always been honest with me, even though we both went through the same thing, we both experienced it very differently.
Yeah.
And my brother has always been honest with me. We have always been close. No matter what's happened, we've always been close. And my sister-in-law has come into our family, and she has fitted in so well. And because she has been the inspiration for me to kind of start thinking about what my focus should be, just by giving me that one small gift that Christmas,
Wow.
I would say the two people who are closest to me are my brother and
Yes.
his wife. Yes.
You are, you are really.
And obviously my dad, because he stands by me no matter what I do.
Of course, that one is
I'm still daddy's little girl.
Yeah, that is unconditional. And Daddy, did you hear that? You are unconditionally loved and appreciated.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, there's always that one, like I always say, God always have people around us, that 1, 2 people or 3 that he just kind of like put around us when we are going through a particular time. When he said, when you're going through certain challenges, he said the fire will not, when you go through fire, it will not scorch, it will not burn you. It's because what it means is the people is going to bring around us, to shield us, to kind of be there for us, give us that little gift that will open the door for us to break through and rediscover ourselves and rediscover, ourselves from being lost. Because situations can make us get lost. We can like, where am I again? So I'm very happy that you have that by your side. And also my I would say, please accept my condolence, and I know that where Mom is right now, she would be so proud of you. Now, if someone wants to get in touch with you as a mindful coach, and how can they reach you? Do you have like a website, like a link, or where they can reach you, if you can just say it to them so they can hear?
Yes, I can. If you go onto Facebook and look for Astrid Phillips, that's me, and you can contact me that way. And you can if you don't want to put it on Facebook, then you can message me, and I will happily get in touch with you. I'm also on Instagram, so if you look on I am Coach Astrid Official, you'll find me there as well, and I have a picture, so you'll see me on that as well. So I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn under Astrid Phillips as well. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Those are the 3 ways in which you can contact me.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope, guys, you've taken that note down. Don't forget to follow her on all her social media handles that she has just mentioned to you. Thank you so much, Astrid Phillips. It's a pleasure, it's a honor, it's a privilege, it's a blessing to have you come and share your wisdom, your understanding, your experience as a legacy. Thank you so much. And I know that audience have taken something from that. Thank you so much. Now, audience, thank you so much. I don't know about you, but I have learned so much. See, just in case any of you if you have been affected by any of this, the story, the messages that has been shared today, Tina Talk Show is here to support you. We have in-house counselor and a psychotherapist. Should you be grieving, should you be affected by any of this, we are here. We cannot leave you like that after watching this. And if you're grieving, get in touch with us and we will support you as much as we can. Now, if you are watching also and you feel like, wow, I think I have a story to share, and I think I've got the best legacy, like I've always said, is your experience, is your knowledge, is your wisdom, and you think I've got something to share, Tina Talk Show is a platform designed just for you to do that. Okay? Just follow me on all my social media platforms. On Facebook is Tina Talks Show. On Instagram is Tina Talks Show. On YouTube is Tina Talks Show, Bridging the Gap. Bridge the gap. Let's come together and bridge the gap. Thank you so much. And do not forget to subscribe, follow and comment. And until next time, it's me, your girl, your host, your sister, your friend, Adanwa Chiku. And thank you and bye for now.